Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Sunday. Hopefully, you're all having a good day. Hopefully, you're all having a great weekend. Shout out to everybody in the chat. What is going on? Make sure you all hit that like button, hit that subscribe, share this channel out with everyone you know. I would greatly appreciate it. How's everybody doing in the chat? How's everybody doing on this Sunday? We are 39 days away from opening day, folks. We are 5 days away from the Yankees' first spring training game. Who's excited? I know I am. Hopefully, you're all excited too. There are a couple of issues with a couple of players, although one of them has resumed baseball activities, and we will talk about all of that. So, position players have reported to spring training. So, the Yankees now have a full squad in Tampa, folks. So we are getting that much closer. So shout out to everybody in the chat. Let's say what's up to the chat real quick. We got Jacob Petruzzi in the building. What's up, Jacob? How's it going? How are you? How's your Sunday? Jonathan, what is going on? Chua, what is going on? Norman, what's up, Norman? How's it going? Referee, what is up? Ken, what is up? What's up? What's up? Who else we got in the chat? We got Gusto in the building. What up, Gusto? How's it going, man? Good chatting with you earlier. What is going on? What's up, Joe? How's it going? So, yeah. So let's just get the bad news out of the way, folks. Let's get some of the bad news out of the way. Unfortunately, Giancarlo Stanton, who we all know is unfortunately an injury prone player, but is a beast in the playoffs, right? It's inevitable that he gets hurt. He is dealing with elbow issues right now, according to Aaron Boone. And so let me pull up this tweet right here. What's up there, Mr. Coconuts? How's it going? So Aaron Boone said that Giancarlo is a little behind due to some tennis elbow issues, both elbows. That dates back to last season. So he's been dealing with this injury since last season. And as far as a return, there's nothing set in stone. So we don't know if Giancarlo Stanton is going to be ready for opening day. So stay tuned. As we wait, and then Trent Grisham had a hamstring issue, but he's back to doing baseball activities. So Yankees, already dealing with a few injuries, right? You have Giancarlo Stanton, you have Trent Grisham. Last week you heard about Jake Cousins and Clayton Beeter dealing with their own injuries. So, so not off to a good start, but let's just hope that these guys heal up quick, sooner rather than later. I suppose, you'd rather these players deal with the injuries right now than later in the season, right? Let's just hope that they are doing the necessary steps that they're supposed to take and heal up by opening day, if they, or even if not opening day, just shortly after opening day. I mean, we know that Jonathan Loaisiga, he's another one who's recovering from Tommy John. He'll be back later in the season. They're probably thinking like a May timeline. So, Yankees are already, like I said, they're already dealing with a few issues as far as injuries go. I mean, you don't like to hear it, but man, it just sucks to get that type of news. So, and we got my guy, the Ace Avenue in the building, Chia. What's up, Ace? How's it going? Make sure you all subscribe to the Ace Avenue. Jacob, I don't know if you're still in the chat, but make sure you put the link in there for Ace. Put the link in there for Ace. And he says death, taxes, and Stanton getting hurt. Yeah, I know. 3 things that are for sure, right? 3 things that are for sure. Death, taxes, and Giancarlo Stanton getting hurt. It's inevitable, but Giancarlo, when he reported to spring training, the guy looked like, he looked like he slimmed down. The guy looks slimmer than where he was last year. So, I was hoping, okay, this is great. This is good news. But next, we hear about this, we hear about this injury. So, let's hope it's nothing serious. Let's hope he's ready for opening day. In case he's not ready for opening day, it's like I'm mentally preparing myself to say that, okay, he may not be in the lineup. So, again, we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see what happens. All right. And let me hold that thought. I got a guest in the back. It's been a hot minute. I know they've been reaching out to me. So I'm like, all right, I need to get them on. Ready to go? All right. I got the thumbs up. Folks, welcome, Erica. It's been a hot minute. What is up?
What's going on, guys? How are you?
Chilling. How are you?
Not too bad.
How's the healing, the injury? I know you're dealing with that meniscus.
Yeah, it's no fun, but whatever. Taking it day by day. But yeah, here's the knee.
I see that. Oh man, that sucks. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's been rough, but whatever.
Yeah, for sure. So, you've been keeping up with Yankees news, Yankees baseball, I assume.
Yeah, absolutely. So
sweet.
I don't know what you guys are talking about, just because I saw your message and I was like, oh, I have some time. Let me hop on real quick.
Yeah. I was like, let me shoot her a text. I'll send a bat signal out. Maybe she'll answer. And here you are. Cool. Now, appreciate you coming on. Yeah. So you heard about John Carlos Stanton. He's dealing with injuries on his elbows, and
I made a funny joke about that, but I can't say it on here because this is a family-friendly show. But he'll be all right. He'll be all right.
I want to hear this joke now.
Nah.
Dang. Okay. You know what? I think I have an idea in my head, but I'll shut up.
He heard it. He watched a lot of his playoff highlights. I get it. You know what I mean?
Oh man. And Trent Grisham, obviously, he was dealing with some hamstring issues, but it looks like he's back.
Oh, was he? I didn't know.
Yeah. Apparently, he was dealing with some hamstring issues. Now he's back to doing baseball activities.
Yeah.
So that's good news. Let's hope. Let's see what happens with also Clayton Beater and Jake Cousins, because those guys were also dealing with injuries. So they haven't even played any games yet, and here we are.
I mean, that's the least of my concerns. The bullpen obviously got stronger, and our rotation on paper should be one of the best in the league. So, just hopefully they stay healthy. And, yeah, my biggest concern is obviously the lineup. I've mentioned it in the comments. I hope that they still address the third base issue, but I don't think they will, but you never know. So we'll see. I'm really excited, though. I'm starting to see, all the videos and stuff from Instagram and hyping up the season, and I'm starting to forget how things ended last season. I will never forget, but, I'm starting to be more excited about what's in front of us rather than looking behind us. So, yeah, I love the Yankees. I love baseball season, so I'm ready to get it started. I'm trying to see if I go to opening day. I hope I can be walking by then. And, I'm stoked.
Yeah, you and me both. I have been waiting for this moment. So, just been waiting for spring training to come around, because I hate when the off season comes around, because it's just not a lot going on. Right. So, but yeah, here we are. I'll be going to 2 of the games when they come out here so far, and I'm going to definitely buy tickets for that third game. So
yeah, you got it. You have to.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it 100%. But let me get your thoughts, because I know we haven't talked in a little while. Off season, right? Let's kind of go back a little bit. We all know what happened, right? Soto went to the Mets, right? But then they pivoted quickly, acquired some players. What do you think about the off season, and then going into 2025? How are you feeling about it?
It was a shot to the gut with the Soto situation, but they pivoted pretty quickly. Until they address the third base issue, I'm still a little bit weary. But as everyone's been saying, the lineup is more balanced now with the acquisitions that they made. The defense is going to be more sound in the infield. That was a big concern, especially the right side of, like, defensively on the right side with Glaber, Rizzo, and Soto. Like, that's obviously been patched up. But the biggest thing about losing Soto to me is just losing that clutch factor. And I don't know if anybody is in the Yankee lineup has that. You know what I mean? Judge, he still has to prove a lot to us. People like to say that he was heating up, and then obviously things went downhill with the fifth inning. But no, he didn't show me enough for me to be like, okay, we have that clutch guy in the lineup. And honestly, like, I know Correa is injury prone, but that would have been a cool move. Maybe a lot of people don't feel that way, but he kind of brings that grittiness to he would bring the grittiness to the lineup that I feel is missing. But I do like the acquisitions we made. Obviously, we have a solid closer. Who knows what Luke Weaver is going to be this season, but if he's going to be a setup guy, doing a long relief setup guy, like a 2-inning setup guy, that's awesome. And especially the Max Fried acquisition. I was not expecting that at all. So what? Devin Williams, Max Fried. Who else did we get? Bellinger.
Cody
You
Bellinger.
had to make that move. You had to make that Bellinger move. You put Judge back in his natural position at right field again. You don't have to worry about him running, covering all that ground in center field. I didn't mind him in center field, but he's a big guy, and that's gonna eventually wear on him. So it's nice to have him back in right field, and he's obviously a better right fielder anyway. But there's also just a lot of question marks going into the season. What's Volpe going to be? What's Jason Dominguez going to be? I ride high on him, but he has a lot to prove, and there's going to be a lot of ups and downs. And how is he going to deal with that adversity now that he's actually going to get everyday starts? How is he going to get better defensively, especially in left field where he doesn't normally play? Our catcher situation's a little bit up in the air, I feel, because Austin Wells was great, and then he wasn't. And I'm a big Austin Wells fan. I think that he does have a high ceiling. But let's say he doesn't pan out, then who do we have as a backup? Is Paul Goldschmidt? There's just so many question marks in that lineup. It really bothers me. But they addressed what they needed to address outside of third base. At this point, the team that they have right now has to go out and play and prove it. But I still think that third base issue is going to be an issue. It's been lingering for 3 years now. Like, what are we doing? So.
Yeah, I have already mentally prepared myself for third base that they're going to go internally. And I'm also preparing myself that they're going to go with DJ LeMahieu on it. If I'm going to be honest here, even if they are holding a competition for third base during spring training, I mean, his best days are behind him. It's kind of over for him. But I hope if he is the guy that is going to start third base, I hope he has a bounce back year. But I mean, the way the last few years have been, I'm not seeing it. So. But I think the theme for the Yankees this offseason was defense and fundamentals, because the Yankees have lacked their defense last season was terrible. So defensively, they've gotten better. You get Cody Bellinger in the outfield, you put him in center field. He's a Gold Glover. You put Judge back, like you said, in his natural position. We'll see what Dominguez does in left field. He has, like you said, he has a lot to prove. So we'll see what he does in his first full season. We've only seen very small sample sizes of him. You brought up Volpe and Wells. I'm right there with you. I mean, Volpe, this third year is going to be a crucial year for him. Wells, let's see how he does in year 2. I mean, it's his second year, so hopefully he can turn some things around. And if it's not him, then I don't know who it's going to be. We don't even know who the backup catcher is going to be at this point. We have no idea. So there's definitely going to be some competition there. A lot of folks are saying JC Escara seems to be the name that's being thrown out there. I love the Max Fried signing. I'm right there. They needed to upgrade that starting rotation, no doubt. So Devin Williams, they got him for a year for the season, so good closer. But the line. Is the lineup the biggest concern for you going into the season? Then would you say that?
Yeah, I just definitely the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely the lineup. But at this point, you just got to see what they can produce and what they're going to be able to give you. Like I said, it's a more balanced lineup, so it's not as top heavy, which is kind of
Mm-hmm.
nice. I'm curious how they're going to structure it. I wonder who's going to be in the leadoff. I know that that's probably going to be a big question mark in spring training, and based on people's performances, is how they're going to decide. But as of right now, I'm assuming it's either Jazz and or Jason Dominguez. Um, please don't slot DJ in that spot. Like I don't care what Judge says. DJ is only on the team because Judge said not to cut him, which is crazy. So
Right.
hopefully Judge is right, but don't come out here like you did last season saying ideally it should be what did you say last year? DJ my lead off me and then Soto the top three. So like DJ, you're in the bottom of the lineup, buddy, until you can improve otherwise. And I would like to see Peraza get a lot of reps. He's obviously great defensively, and you got to see what he can do offensively. I don't think they gave him enough shots last season. They've actually just thrown him to the wolves a little bit. He unfortunately was injured at one point, and he wasn't able to come up when he did have a spot. And then when he did come up, I feel like they only gave him like a game or two, and then they just sat him the whole time. So
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know what's going to happen with Peraza at this point. I mean, yes, he's getting his shot. He has an opportunity. The dude he's a great defender. There's no doubt there. So you could put him anywhere in the infield except for probably first base. So he could play all the other positions in the infield. But yeah, he's out of options now. And if he doesn't get the job, what happens? Do they DFA him? Do they trade him? I mean, we don't even know at this point. So it
it'll just
sucks.
be disappointing because what did we even hug him for? You know what I mean? Like just the hugging of the prospects, losing out on so many potential trades because we don't want to give these guys up, and then we do nothing with them. The only guy that has turned into anything that came up through our system has been is Judge.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't develop pitchers at all. Like I mean Schmidt. Okay, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm speaking emotionally, but it's been a while since we developed like a solid pitcher. The Tigers out here developing guys. The Rays but the Yankees they're not known for that. Luckily, Heel has looked pretty good. Schmidt has been a mid solid
He's your
end of
number 4,
rotation
number 5
guy,
man. Yeah,
right? But like as
yeah.
far as like an ace, they're not doing that. So, yeah, I feel like everybody that they've brought up with potential, like it hasn't really panned out the way that they make it seem. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I know. I wish things worked out a little bit better with some of the prospects. I mean, I don't know where they somewhere it just got lost along the way. I don't know how or why or when, but it just things didn't exactly work out. Hopefully, in the future, though, things will things will improve, right? I mean, certain guys improved, right? I mean, as far as like prospects go, I mean, Judge is one guy, but
Judge is
Ken,
like a lightning in a bottle guy. Like
right.
obviously he is the man. Offensively, I've never seen anybody like him. Like he's great, but just I wish they would develop a little bit others. Some other stars, not even stars, just role players.
Yeah,
They don't even become role players. So let's see what Jason Dominguez becomes. Volpe obviously has been given a great opportunity, and he's had glimpses. I don't think he'll ever be what people expected him to be. He's not going to be the next Jeter, like by any means. I don't think anybody will be. But Austin Wells is another guy. We'll see. But everyone out we've gone through two, I guess, eras of baby bombers, and we only have 3 to show for it.
Who's your 3? So Judge is 1. Who's your other 2?
I mean, well, it's Judge, and then now you have the second iteration of it is like the Wells and the Volpe, and now Jason Dominguez. So
would you put Schmidt and Hill as being successful because they came up through the Yankee system?
Like I said, Schmidt is a solid end of the rotation guy. I mean, he's got good stuff. I think with pitchers, you got to give him a little bit more time, unfortunately. So, Heel looked great last year, but then he went through a little bit of a rut, but then he ended the season pretty solid. So yeah, I would say Heel is successful, but you got to see how he follows it up this season.
Yeah, because he got Rookie of the Year, which I think
Yeah.
was a big, it's a big deal,
Oh,
especially
for sure.
the way the season ended. So I mean, we needed something to be happy about. But let me ask you this: for third base, who was your guy? Like, who did you want the Yankees to go after?
For third base?
Yeah.
Man, I mean, I'm so desperate that I would have taken anybody. As far as like I don't know why we weren't in talks for Bregman, but then I saw his contract and I'm like, that's way too much money for that dude. I understand why they didn't do that. I'm kind of cool with if they wanted to like play Jazz out of position. And I know it sounds crazy, but again, I really liked the idea of trading for Correa. But that's just think like outside the box. Just because of what he would bring to the lineup if he could stay healthy, and that's another big thing is if he could stay healthy. But obviously, Arenado seems to be the guy that's left. I think he does. He's still a solid player. I understand the concerns, but he's still a better option than DJ and or Peraza. So it's like you got to make the move. You're in it now. You're the beast of the AL. You got to take advantage. There's a ton of teams catching up. We're mad because we're not spending money, but we are still spending money. We're just not spending money the way like all these other teams caught up, the Dodgers and the Mets. We're almost like mad that they're spending more money than us. And it's like, it was bound to happen, So this is what it is. You got to work with what you got. And I guess Arenado fits that if they can trade Stroman in it. I don't know, but I don't think they're going to do it. I think that this is the team. That's what I don't know. It's Eugenio Suarez could be traded. I don't know. I know that's been mentioned.
Yeah, Eugenio Suarez. He could be somebody. There was also that dude from the Mets, Iglesias. He's still out there. He's still a free agent. I mean, yeah, it's not going to be a big impact, but I mean, again, he would still be better than what they have internally, I think. And then Arenado would be great. I know it's funny because a lot of folks, there's a lot of fans out there that kind of crap on him, but he would be an immediate upgrade over what they have internally. And he's a Gold Glover at third base. I mean, the defense in that infield would be even that much better. And I looked at Fangraphs as far as like 2025 projections. They have him hitting 260. Again, I'll take a 260 average over a 204.
Yeah, I know the concern is that he's like a heavy pull hitter, and it's hard to pull in Yankee Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
It's better if you're either opposite field or right. You're short for. He's playing video games, so he's really loud.
You're good. You're good.
So, like, I get the concerns, but again, like, you still rather DJ over that, and you want to take the chance on Peraza, by all means. And like a big thing is, he's old. He's old. The Yankees, I think, even with Arenado, would still be one of the younger teams because if you look at like Wells is young, Volpe's young, Jazz is young. People forget he's actually very young. How old is Jazz Chisholm?
Jazz Chisholm, I believe he's like 28, 20, like probably mid-20s.
That's young.
He's still young, yeah.
Basically, super young. Bellinger is young.
I was gonna say Arenado is not. I wouldn't call him old. He's roughly 33? The same age as Judge.
33, 34, yeah.
Yeah, he's roughly the same age as Judge, and a lot of folks kept saying Donaldson 2.0. I'm like, they got Donaldson at like 36, 37. There's a difference.
People are also just barely focused on the Goldschmidt thing because he's 37 or 38, whatever. So they're like, oh, he's so old. And like, he's one of the only old dudes on the team.
Goldschmidt's an upgrade. I mean, as of right now, as far as I'm concerned, he's an upgrade over Rizzo. I hate to say that, but
over concussed Rizzo.
Yeah, over concussed Rizzo. Yeah, exactly. Got to be very specific about that. So it looks like Ace is telling us Jazz is 27. Okay, so
that's young. That's
young. Yeah,
under control for this year and next.
I believe he's under 2 more years of control. So
that was a solid trade.
That was. I just hope he can make better improvements at the plate because he does swing and miss a lot, and he
Yeah, it does.
definitely tends to miss out of, or swing outside the strike zone as well, which is very frustrating to watch at times. What up, Rodney? I see you in the chat. What's going on, Rodney? But you brought up the lineup, so Gary Phillips put out this tweet. I'll read it off. And
Boys on the
this was said by Aaron Boone. He said Aaron Boone has talked to Aaron Judge about where he'll hit in the order. Right now, Boone is leaning second, but added, I also know he loves hitting third. A lot determines on who's hitting in that leadoff spot and who's in that 2 or 3 spot. Boone mentioned Cody Bellinger as a new possible leadoff option, but there's others in the mix. And those others in the mix is Jazz and Dominguez. So, I mean, the leadoff spot is going to be a mystery right now. I have no idea what's going to happen with the leadoff spot. So that one is a mystery to me.
Yeah, I think if Jason Dominguez could pan out to what we think he's going to be, he's an ideal leadoff guy. I don't like Bellinger in front of Judge. I think it worked too perfectly with Soto and Judge because of the kind of hitter Soto is. I mean, he's got the best eye in baseball, one of the best eyes in baseball. I think Bellinger benefits way more batting behind Judge than the other way around. So I feel he's going to be the third guy, number 3 guy in the lineup. And then after that would be Stanton, I'm assuming. But, yeah, the leadoff guy, I think it's going to start, again, depending on how spring training goes, but I feel like I just think it's going to be Jazz for some reason. But, again, he does obviously strike out a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm that's what I'm going to miss a lot about Glaber. You know, he was really good at the leadoff spot once he found his stuff. Like, he worked out pretty perfectly there. But yeah, I think that's something that's going to be an ongoing discussion throughout spring training. We'll see what happens. But he could always change it. The Yankees are notorious for changing their lineup so many times throughout the season within a week. So I'm not concerned about what they're going to try out. It's just about what's going to stick.
Yeah, I mean, that leadoff spot I'm really curious about. I'm a little hesitant on Dominguez for now, you know, just because, again, I want to see what he does when the season starts. I mean, if I could see some consistency out of him, then maybe you lead him off in the second half of the season, depending on how things play out. And he has to improve on the right side of the plate too. He is kind of weak there. I mean, when he hits from the left side, obviously he's lights out. He's great. But the right side needs a little bit of work. And then I hope, left field, he's going to be playing left field. It sounds like, the majority of the time. I hope he's getting his reps in and he's ready to go. It's hard because, like, I would have loved him in center field, but then you have a Gold Glover like Bellinger who can play that position just fine. And then, you're not going to, I suppose you could switch him off sometimes. And but Bellinger that certainly belongs in center field. That is his position. I just hope that that Dominguez has a successful season, right? I mean, what are your expectations for Dominguez? Let me ask you that. Like, as far as like batting average, home runs, like what are your expectations?
I actually haven't really thought about it. To be honest. I'm just concerned that people are gonna think that he's immediately like I've spoken to too many people and be like, oh well, Jason will fill Soto's role, and I'm like, that's not how this is gonna work. Like, he's not gonna. No, please don't set those expectations for him because he's not gonna be that. There's gonna be so many growing pains. I mean, I'm a huge Jason Dominguez fan. I wanted him. I did want him to start over Verdugo last season. I was advocating for him, and every time he would make defensive blunders, I'm like, damn. But it's kind of just. Left field at Yankee Stadium's not easy to play. Granted, he did make 2 of those mistakes, I guess. I forget where they were playing. It was the game after they clinched that he made that. What was it? Where was it? I forget.
You
But
talking about that Seattle game maybe,
was it
or
Seattle?
the game
Yeah,
against Baltimore?
bad. It was so bad. Where you didn't even see the ball.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I just want that. Like, I don't know. I know I said for Volpe that I would be happy if he hit like 265 and hit 25 home runs. Like,
Yeah.
I don't expect him to be a 280 guy. Like, I don't know. But yeah, for Jason, the bar is a little low right now.
So like
I'm
for
too
me,
scared to expect too much from him because I feel like people are expecting him to be Soto 2.0, and that's just never gonna
a lot
happen.
of pressure.
Never gonna happen.
Yeah. I'm like, so for me, like if he was to hit 250, 20 home runs, like sign me up. I'll be happy with that. But if he
That's
was,
not gonna fly with the fans.
yeah, well, there's a lot of things that don't fly with the fans, but the way I
250.
see it, it's huh?
I said 250. That's not flying with them.
I mean, for his rookie season though, right? I mean, 250. I mean, again, I'm not going to give him 280. Sure as hell ain't going to go into the 300s. Again, you look at Fangraphs, they're projecting 249.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, so I'm managing when it comes to Dominguez, and I've said this many, many times. I am managing my expectations when it comes to him because you know how it goes with Yankee prospects, with guys that are coming up. We have these big expectations, and when they let us down, it's like this guy's a wash. Send him back. He's not the answer. Trade him. DFA him. They did that with Volpe in his rookie season.
Yeah.
He wasn't great, and a lot of folks were already ready to write him off. Last year he did all right. This year I don't know. It's kind of for me. It's kind of a make or break. I mean, his glove is good. His plate appearances, though, I need to see more consistency.
Yeah. The thing is, he shows it from time to time, like, and then there's times where he just loses his discipline at the plate, and it's just like, what happened? What happened between last week and this week? And I understand that it's a game of adjustments, but like, dude, why are we still chasing this high fastball? Relax. But yeah, we'll see. It's just a lot of question marks. I'm very excited for the season to start. I do believe that the Yankees are the favorite in the AL East, and probably I'm thinking of the entire AL. Man, the AL is weak.
The AL is very weak. So I mean, really, the teams that I would say to watch out for, and tell me if you agree with this, and if there's any other teams you want to add to this, by all means, go for it. Boston, I think, is going to be legit. I think they've made some improvements, obviously adding Bregman, and they've made a couple of additions to their rotation. So they're a team to watch out for. As far as I'm concerned, any team in the AL East you have to watch out for because of the fact that these teams are pesky, and they will they always give the Yankees a hard time. If you look at the AL Central, the Royals, I think they're going to be hard to deal with. They have
pick up. Did they
they,
improve their team at all?
they traded for Jonathan India.
Okay.
That's an upgrade in their infield. I mean, they have a solid team. They extended Cole Reagans, who's a solid pitcher for them in their starting rotation. So, I mean, they had a good season last year. I mean, I actually have them winning the Central, if I'm being honest. And watch out for the Tigers.
Yeah,
The Tigers, they signed Flaherty back. So, now you have that 1-2 punch with Skubal and Flaherty. So, and they added Gleyber Torres. So they could be a sneaky team. And as far as the AL West goes, I don't think you have to worry about the Astros. They lost guys this offseason. My God. And they lost Bregman, and then they traded Tucker and Presley. So
yeah.
those guys are gone. So I don't know what you're getting out of the Astros. The Rangers are probably the team you have to worry about in the AL West. Seattle, I'm not too sure about them. The Angels have made some additions, but I don't think they're that big of a threat yet. But the Rangers are are the team you have to worry about, I feel like, in the AL West. So, so I would say about like 4 teams, the entire AL East, and then on top of like the other teams that I just mentioned.
What about the Indians or the Guardians? Sorry, the Guardians.
You're about to get
I'm sorry.
No, I'm just kidding.
My bad.
It was a joke. It was a joke. That was a mistake, Major League Baseball. No, the Guardians, I don't know that they're going to be a threat because they traded away Andres Jimenez to the Blue Jays. They traded Josh Naylor, which was a big shocker. I didn't expect that, but I guess from the Guardians, if I'm thinking like the Guardians are, I don't know. But since he had 1 year left on his contract, they were just like, you know what, let's just trade him and get something back because we're not going to be able to sign him back. We're not going to be able to afford him. So, I don't know what you're going to get out of the Guardians. So, they lost Jimenez, they lost Naylor. Yeah. So your guess is just as good as mine.
Yeah. I mean, all these teams are going to be good. But if you compare them to the Yankees, and the Yankees are, on like as good as what I would assume they'd be, just coming off of a World Series appearance. And then, they bolstered their starting rotation. You see if Rodon can have a better, like a follow-up to his last season, which was better than obviously his atrocious first year. That bullpen, sorry, the bullpen as well, but that starting rotation is really scary. So, and the Yankees still have the best player in the AL East, in the AL.
In Aaron Judge, yeah.
And one of, you can argue it's him and Ohtani, those are the top 2 players. Judge is still a better player than Soto overall. So you still have that guy in your lineup, and that's makes you easily one of the favorites. So we'll see what happens. By the time the season actually starts, there's going to be probably 3-4 roadblock. We're just be like, oh, we didn't expect this to happen, or we didn't expect that to happen, and somebody pulls a hammy, like is out, or one of the pitchers gets shut down. Like, it's just, you don't want to say it, you don't want to speak it into existence, but it's just the nature of the beast that kind of just happens, unfortunately. So this might be a completely different conversation come the end of March.
Yeah, I mean, you never know, right? I mean, injuries happen, right? Right now, the Yankees are dealing with a few of them, which is frustrating. But I suppose you'd rather deal with them now than later in the season. So, I mean, you'd rather have that. And, hold on. I was going to say something else, but Ace has a question for you. He's asking, what are your thoughts on the Stroman situation?
I'm not mad at him.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, one, he's been rumored to be traded the entire time, right? He has an innings clause in his contract that he has to pitch 140 innings in order to get the option for the 2026 season. So why would you be playing? Like, I'm not a bullpen guy. I've never been a bullpen guy. I'm a starter. When it comes to the playoffs, it's a different story. Do whatever I can to help my teams win, but yeah, I think he's just standing on business. Some people don't like it, but I'm not mad at him. He most likely won't be on the Yankees come the end of spring training because I think they're going to trade him for anything, really. I'm sure what he's doing, the front office doesn't like, but I don't mind it. I don't see why it's an issue. People are going to say that, oh, he's such a cancer to the locker room. But like, he even said it. He's like, you can ask any of these guys. Like, I'm a great teammate. The only people that have issues are you guys in the media that create these narratives. Like, he's speaking fact. I'm a starter. I'm not a relief pitcher. Like, that is what it is. So, especially when it comes to his money. Like, I'm going to start. It's in my contract. I don't know. That's just me. I don't think it's as big of a deal than what the media is making it. I think you just let it ride out and see where you are in 2 weeks, if he's even on this team anymore.
Yeah, a lot of folks. Yeah, there were some fans that were upset about Stroman's comments about I'm a starter. That's what he was saying. But I'm like, but he is. That's the thing. He's a starter.
That's like, the facts.
What are you all upset about? I think it's just because he's not, for quote unquote, he's not a team player. I'm like, the guy's a starter. I'm not putting an $18.5 million starter in the bullpen. I mean, yeah, he didn't pitch at all during the postseason. I get that, but he's also not being paid to be a bullpen guy. Maybe you do that in the postseason, but not so much maybe not so much during the regular season. But I don't blame Stroman for speaking up and saying how he feels. I mean, he's a starter, 100%.
He got signed to this team as a starter.
Yeah.
And let's pivot and make, talk about Cashman giving him $18 million a year. Like, this is on you, dude. You decided to give him that amount of money for that amount of years. You've structured this team in questionable ways, and now you got to bite the bullet. So I don't blame him. Last year we're talking about how much of a team guy he is. He's the first one on the step when the pitchers come off, and he's got all the Yankee gear, and he loves being a Yankee. And then he says one thing. Well, they asked him a question about it. He answered it how he wanted to answer it, and people want to be like, "Oh, this is why he's a cancer. Nobody likes him. He's got issues in every clubhouse." And I'm like, bro, that's what he's a starter.
He's a starter. Yeah, exactly. 100%. I just don't know what it is. Like, some of the fans were upset about him. Like, the guy was stating he was a starter. What is wrong about that? There's nothing wrong in his statement. He's absolutely a starter.
And outside of the money, I don't mind having him on this team because, he will eat up innings. He's going to be more successful with this infield if these guys are playing their natural positions, like if Jazz is at second and we figure out a third base situation. So he's going to benefit from it. Guys go down, like, it's going to happen. And having that arm is beneficial. Is he worth $18 million? Is he blocking a lot of moves that the Yankees want to make? Yeah, but Cashman, that's on Cashman. So either figure out a way to move him for something of value. But if you're gonna get nothing for him, to trade him to like the Marlins and you get nothing in return, like, is he more valuable at that point as a sixth man, or as a kind of like an emergency starter? I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think that we're getting ahead of it. We're getting way ahead of it. And most of us think that he's getting traded anyway in the whatever Nolan Arenado trade that they keep saying is going to happen.
Yeah, well, as far as Stroman goes, I mean, Cashman said that, if he's on the team, he'll serve some kind of role. What role that's going to be, we don't know. But if it makes sense to trade him, they'll trade him. They're not going to just trade him just to trade him. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to just trade the guy to get zero value back. I mean, they're going to make sure they're going to get something of value back for him. But I'm wondering now if, with Stroman making the comments that he has made, and, with the media, some of the media making a big deal about him not showing up to the workouts, which he didn't have to. It's not mandatory. Which I'm just like, all right, well, the guy didn't show. So what? He didn't have to be there. So I don't know why everybody's making a big fuss about this. You think this lights a fire under him to go out there and kill it during spring training, and then try to potentially win a spot in the rotation? I mean, do you think that there's a possibility there?
Yeah, definitely. And I think that that's kind of like his identity. I think he's always been facing adversity. He's, you're too short, you don't throw fast enough, this and that. You're cancer in the clubhouses, blah, blah, blah. So I'm sure it just adds one more, just fuels the fire a little bit. So yeah, hopefully it does, because then that'll be better for Yankees fans, right? If he can come out and be worth the 18 or however much money he's making a year. But do I see him winning a spot with all of the guys that we have against all the guys we have? I don't know.
Hard to say, right? I know.
Yeah.
I do like Clark Schmidt, and I do think that they're going to keep Clark Schmidt in the rotation. Clark Schmidt, personally, I think he is, you get what you get out of him. He's a number 4 guy, right? I mean, that's what he is. I think he's a good pitcher, in my opinion. I just think that there were games last season where he pitched well. He had some good outings, just the bats didn't come through for him.
Yeah, and then he got hurt.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. And he got hurt.
Pitching really well, and then he had that back issue.
Yeah. He got hurt, and he was out for a little while too. I think he was out for think he got injured around like June, July, and then
He was out for a while.
Yeah, a couple of months. I think he came back in September. So, yeah, and like John says, Schmidt had an ERA below 3 last year. I mean, Schmidt's a good pitcher. I like Clark Schmidt, and I don't see. I mean, I don't see him ever going back to the bullpen personally. I don't see it, but I know crazier things have happened. But I don't know. There's a lot of there's again with this team going into 2025. It's going to be interesting. I don't even know how things are going to play out, but I'm like excited and nervous at the same time. But I feel good about it, if I'm being honest. Let me ask you this. I don't know how much more time you have left. I just want to make sure you're good on time.
I'm all right. I might skedaddle soon because I'm hungry, but
well, I don't want to see.
But what's the question?
I don't want to see you when you're hungry. So, but no, I'm just kidding. Aaron Boone. So they're talking about extending him for, I know some fans. I know how a lot of fans have responded. I know Boone is not really liked by a lot of fans, but they're talking about trying to reach an agreement with him before opening day. How do you feel about that? Or do you think that they should have just let the season play out and then have those discussions?
I don't know, man. I think they're really scared about losing him. Apparently that seems to be what they're saying. I'm off of social media, so I don't know what the reaction is to this news, to be honest. It's better for my mental health to be off of these social media apps because people rile me up. But I think I don't know why we're surprised. This guy, they've caped for him so much already. He's had multiple 100-win seasons, and he's constantly bringing the Yankees to the playoffs. He's just coming off of a year that they go to the World Series. It doesn't surprise me because this is like every time we have something negative to say about him, it's like they counter with all this other fluff. I just want him to be a better situational manager, man. We easily lost so many games, especially in the playoffs, due to just silly mistakes. Like the Nestor thing still bothers me. Like the decision so dumb, and I know it's like a hindsight 2020, but it just didn't make sense because especially when you see Tim Hill come in and go through Freddie Freeman like nothing. So that bothered me. Just the front office in general just seems to make some weird moves, like the fact that Glaber just decided that he's not going to go to third when you bring in Jazz Chisholm, even though he's the worst defensive second baseman. You're weak on the right side of the field, but a guy just says, no, I'm not doing it. And instead of being like, all right, well, we run the show, so then you'll be benched, they just rolled over and said, Jazz, hey, you never played here, so good luck. And that he made an error during the World Series. So are Boone's decisions still going to be scrutinized this season? Yeah, absolutely. I think it's inevitable, but I'm not surprised by the Yankees deciding to extend them because, people are going, there's going to be other teams that would love to have him. They're salivating to have him. All right, Boone works for this. I just feel like Boone works for this team because there's so much talent. I don't think it's hard to be a manager for the Yankees. I really don't. Just make the right situational decisions, and that's where, I'm just dude.
Yeah. Well, the organization loves him. I mean, Judge loves him.
Yeah.
And Garrett Cole loves him. I mean, so you get those folks vouching for him. I mean, it's hard to tell fans, hey, we're not going to move on, or we're not going to move on from Boone. I mean, we're going to move on from Boone. The players love him. The players seem to love him. The organization loves him. So, and he does. It looks like he doesn't want to really leave the team, obviously. So, I mean, why? I mean, if you're the Yankees manager, why would you want to? Unless you get into a big fight with your players or folks in the organization, then yeah, I can see where you would want to leave. But
yeah,
Boone, I'm wondering what his extension is going to look like. I mean, if they gave him, I wouldn't. If they gave him 3 years, I think that's more than reasonable. Anything more than 3, I'm like, I think that's a little too much. But I could see like a 3-year extension with him. So,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I also just don't know who else would be out there. Like,
well, I asked that question the other day, and a lot of folks said Don Mattingly. But I mean, hey, sign me up for Don Mattingly. But I don't know. I don't know if that'll ever happen.
yeah, I guess. I mean,
She's like, I don't know.
I don't know. David Cohn.
David Cohn. I mean, that would be awesome. The guy that I would have really liked would have been Terry Francona. I mean, that's one guy I would have liked.
Yeah.
But he's he's back managing now. He's with the Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah.
So I would have loved Terry Francona. That guy would have been awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I don't know what the alternative would be. Again, they just went to the World Series on the back of Giancarlo and Soto. So
yeah, no joke, right?
And it helped push the talks with Boone. I think if they don't make the World Series last year, I don't know if we'd be having the same conversation. So
yeah, no, you're right. I'm probably right there with you. I think it would have been a 50-50 chance. It would have been a 50-50 chance of him coming back for this season if they didn't make it to the World Series, because 2025 was an option. But since they made it to the World Series and they made it that far, but just didn't but came up short. I mean, they weren't going to be like, okay, well, we're going to cut you loose. It's like, well, you just got the team to the World Series. It wouldn't make sense to cut them loose. So, I wanted to get your thoughts on the whole Boone thing. I think he's a good manager, but yeah, some of his decisions, I mean, I don't always agree with, but what manager is perfect?
I was going to say, I think any manager is going to be scrutinized if they make one mistake. Or a couple mistakes. I think it's pretty normal, but it's just that I don't know. I just feel like we've wasted so many years, where we could have won World Series already, and just they never got over that hump. But the Astros were a big part of that. But
yeah. But 2024 though, like that was probably the best roster he has had so far as a manager with the Yankees. I don't know. Would you?
I mean, as far as star players go, yeah. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess yeah. I'm sorry. I'm trying to think.
No, you're good. Take a sec.
Had 100-win teams multiple times, and
yeah, he would have had 100 wins last year, but there was just too many mistakes from the defense, which was absolutely frustrating.
Yeah.
Oh my God! But I hope that defense is with who they acquired now and who they have. I hope it's all cleaned up and they do a better job with the defense. So I think they have. I think they've made some good decisions as far as who to get on this team. So.
No, I'm excited though. I know we talked there's a lot of negativity and stuff, and I think it's just because you wanna shine a light on that stuff because not everything is perfect. But I think once we move past this, no matter whatever the team is, we're gonna be super excited to see them. I'm really curious to see how Cody Bellinger does. I want to see how all these new guys fit in to this organization and the lineup and how they handle New York. It's not easy. But if Cody Bellinger could be what he's been the last 2 years, he's had. When was his last the season that he was really not? He was not good at all. Was it 2 years ago or whatever? But
yeah,
it
was a couple years ago. Yeah, he should benefit from that short porch. I mean, with his bat, he should be able to benefit. And he's also a contact hitter too. So I mean, he's not just purely a home run hitter. He's a guy that can hit the ball, get on base. Create those opportunities. One last question because I know you got to get going. Who in spring training? Yeah, who in spring training do you want to see the most? Who are you interested in? Whether it's roster, whether it's anybody on the 40-man or the non-roster invites. Who's the one player that you've been wondering about? Gotcha.
No, it's not that. It's just that like I can easily say like, oh, I'm excited. I want to see what Volpe's gonna be. But like Volpe does well in spring training, like a lot of players do well in spring training or don't do well in spring training, and it doesn't really transfer into the regular season or translate very well. But I want to, I guess, just the structure of the lineup and see what is gonna look good. So, I guess just see what Jason Dominguez does.
Okay.
Because for me, what I like regular season wise, I want to see what Volpe is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's important, and I want to see what Austin Wells is going to be. Like
for sure,
those two guys. I think Jason Dominguez will still be too early in his career. Like you know that you're going to get the ups and downs, but I want to see how Volpe is going to pan out in his third year, especially after having like a pretty big moment in the World Series. I feel like people are like, oh, he earned his stripes, blah, 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 or pinstripes. So like, people are like really riding that game where he hit the grand slam or whatever it was. So yeah, I want to see if that like gives him some confidence. And then I just want to see if Wells can be the hitter that he was when he was in the cleanest spot in the beginning where he was just raking. But yeah, I'm curious for those two guys because it's very important to have a successful catcher and shortstop, I think, for this team, considering that defensively Austin Wells isn't going to throw out too many guys and stuff, so he's got to be more offensive, like better offensively.
Mm-hmm.
And then just, again, Volpe, see if he can be a 275 guy, a 280 guy. I don't know.
Ooh, that's asking a lot.
It's asking a whole lot, but that's the expectations that we had of this guy.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
People are talking about he's the next Derek Jeter. No, that's crazy talk. I mean,
I didn't jump on that bandwagon.
But they made, they were like building up that story. Grew up a Yankee fan. He's from Jersey. Like it ran parallel to, or mirrored Derek Jeter's story so much. But
Mm-hmm.
so that's why they make him seem like, oh, he's gonna be the new Jeter. And he's kind of not been that. And I like Volpe. Don't get me wrong. All these guys that I'm talking about, I really like them. Maybe that's why I want them to be successful, so that I can talk smack to all the haters.
Yeah, there you go. Listen, I like Volpe too. I have nothing against him. I want the guy to succeed. I want him to do well. I want him to play well. Same with Austin Wells. Same with Dominguez. Same with all those guys. But yeah, as far as spring training goes, though, as far as non-roster invites, I do want to see Chase Hampton. I want to see how he does.
My God, that's right. Yeah. I got to do some see who are the non-roster invites and stuff like that.
Yeah, they had released it. If I find it, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, because I told you I kind of went into like
you were low.
I went through like a Yankee sabbatical. Guys, I didn't handle the World Series loss very well, like whatsoever. I just stopped listening to Yankees new or like trying to read it because it just all reminded me of how they showed up in the World Series and just how everything went wrong. And obviously I have a lot of friends that are Red Sox fans. I have a lot of friends and family that are Mets fans, and they didn't let me hear the end of it. So like there was I went dark on Yankee news. So I'm still like kind of catching up with things. So that's why I'm like, oh, I don't even know who the non-roster invites are.
You're all good. Yeah, well, when you popped up that one day in the chat, I'm like, oh, I was like, okay, she was traumatized. I'm like, oh my God, poor girl.
PTSD was real.
The PTSD was real for a lot of fans. Holy crap.
And that's not to say that like I quit on the team or anything like that.
Yeah.
I love this team so much, and a World Series win would have meant everything to me. And it just felt like I was just heartbroken, and I had to just, take a little time for myself. And that's what I did. It wasn't, I still, again, this team is like my third love. It's like my husband, my dog, and then the Yankees. So it was rough. But we're good. We made it out alive. And yeah, clean slate with a little bit of trauma.
I feel you. How long till you heal up? What are the doctors saying?
I forgot about my knee. So I hurt myself on December 7th,
Okay.
and I got surgery on January 15th. So for those 6 weeks, I was already on crutches, which
Mm-hmm.
sucked. Couldn't walk. Then I got the surgery, and now I'm still on crutches. They said I might be able to put weight on it this week, so we'll see. But
Okay.
as far as like being in the clear completely, like if I can maybe like start doing some physical activities again, man, that's probably not till the summer.
All right. Well, I mean, at least it's summer. At least you get to when summertime comes around. You're gonna get back into playing softball, flag football, and all that fun stuff.
Everything in me says yes, but again, I haven't walked in 10 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, the most important thing is just being able to do that first. And then, because I don't know what my knee really feels like with any weight on it. So I guess that'll be the true test is once I start feeling a little bit like myself, see what the stability feels like as well.
Cool. Well, yeah. No, I hope you continue healing. I hope it continues going in that right direction. Obviously, take care of yourself, your health,
Thanks.
all that fun stuff. But
Yeah.
it was great having you on here, though. I mean, I was finally. I'm like, I don't know where she's been. I was like, there. I was like, she hasn't texted, and we don't hear from her. And then all of a sudden, one day, boom, she pops up.
Yeah. I'm ready. I'm ready to show face again.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
it felt
for
like a
sure.
little piece of me has been empty for the last couple months, but it's starting, the hole's starting to fill a little bit. So, just I'm excited to be back and part of these things and just being in the comments and talking it up with the chat. I haven't actually looked at any of the comments in the chat. I'm sorry if my takes are awful and you don't agree with them. I'm coming back in into it. So yeah. But
Yeah,
thank
well,
you.
and we'll talk about it some more. We'll talk about it some more, and obviously when the regular season comes around, I'm definitely going to be doing a lot of play by plays. Definitely getting back into my pre games. I'm very much looking forward to that. So yeah, no, you got to take care of yourself first. So I mean, don't worry about the Yankees and all that. I mean, you come first. So obviously your well being is definitely way more important. But yeah, anything else you want to say, Erica, before you hop off?
No, I'm good, man. Thanks again for having me on here.
Yeah, thanks for
Go
coming
on,
on.
go on, have your regular scheduled program show. I apologize if people had questions and I took up all the time. My bad.
No,
Um,
no, no, no. You're good. You're not. There's a
so,
reason why I bring you up. So nah, you're good. You always you have good takes. I appreciate your takes, and I like you. So you're dope.
thank you. But I'm gonna
Yeah,
go get some food now. I'll
yeah,
keep walking, but I'm gonna go find food because I'm very hungry.
for sure. I'm probably gonna end it here pretty soon anyway. So yeah, you do what you got to do.
All right, cool.
All right,
Bye, guys.
all right. Thank you, Erica. Thanks for coming on.
All right, see you. Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you. But folks, appreciate Erica coming on and chatting it up with us. It's been a long time, so I love having her on. She always, she knows baseball, she knows Yankees, she has good takes. She has her own way of thinking when it comes to the Yankees, so I do appreciate her. And believe me, I have been looking at the comments. Y'all are awesome for hanging out and just interacting amongst each other. And Evan, I'm seeing your question there about who the leadoff hitter is. We don't even know at this point. I mean, again, according to Boone, from this tweet that Gary Phillips put out, he said that he mentioned Cody Bellinger as a new possible leadoff option, and that there's others in the mix. As far as others in the mix go, Boone did bring up Jazz Chisholm and Jason Dominguez. So again, it's up in the air. The leadoff spot is up in the air. Judge apparently wants to bat second. The lineup is going to be interesting. So I don't even, we'll see what this lineup is going to look like come opening day. And, things could always change. And William, what's going on, bro? Yes, I did get your email from when you sent it 4 days ago, and I did respond. So I did send a response back that same evening. So I hope you got that response. But if you're asking if I got another email from you, I did not. So I responded to the one that you sent me from 4 days ago, though. Just so you're aware. But yeah, folks. But we're 5 days away from the first spring training game. And then for the Yankees, obviously the positional players have reported to spring training. So the whole squad is there, even with some of the injuries. But let's just hope that these guys that are injured do come back sooner rather than later. And like I said, I'd rather be dealing with these injuries now than dealing with them, in the middle of the season where things start to truly heat up. But we'll see what happens, folks. I'm excited. Spring training games start up this later in the week, and then you have opening day, 39 days away, folks. We are not that far off from opening day. I am absolutely looking forward to it. I cannot wait. I'm excited. I'm also nervous at the same time. So, but that's what being a fan is all about. You're excited and you're nervous all at the same time. The adrenaline starts pumping. So I'm ready. I'm ready for the 2025 season. Bring it on. Let's go. Let's make it happen. But I'm excited. So let's see what happens, folks. But that's going to do it for me. I do appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you all for hanging out. Again, shout out to Erica for popping up, for coming in and talking to us. It was a good time. Again, love having her on, and bring it on back to talking. Yeah, I can't wait to talk baseball again. So. Okay, my uncle. Oh, dude, I'm so sorry about your uncle, man. My condolences there, William. I'm sorry for your loss. My condolences, bud. Check your email. My address should have been sent. Check your email. If not, I'll send it again. Just let me know. All right, but I'll just send it again. We'll make this simple. But sorry for your loss there, man. Sorry for your loss. But again, condolences to you and the family. But folks in the chat, I am going to wrap it up here. I do appreciate everybody tuning in. I appreciate everybody hanging out on this Sunday. So getting that much closer. And if any other news comes out, I'll definitely let you all know. I'll either go live or put out a YouTube short. And we are getting that much closer, people. But thank you all for coming on. Enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll see you all next time. Thank you all for coming on. Have yourself a good Sunday. See y'all later.